In this session, I'm going to explain about how we could register or apply for a GSTIN, which is also called as Goods and Service Tax Identification Number in India. This session is sponsored by wikiprocedure.com, and all the information that I'm going to provide in this session can be obtained from this following link that is given in this slide, as well as I'm going to provide this link in the description of this video, so you can actually access the URL from the description. As well, all the slides that I'm gonna all the links that I'm gonna provide in these coming slides can be obtained from this following link that is displayed here. I'm gonna take you to this page and show you how the information is displayed. So you could see here the information is kind of displayed in headings, which is easy to understand, as well as the links are embedded here, so it's easy for people to access it straight from here rather than retyping them. So I'm going to take you to these slides. These are the list of items that we're going to cover in this session. The need for a GSTIN is this is a new system that came into place with replacing the old tax system. This actually makes things easier for traders and sellers and buyers to sell things across states and as well as within states, and it also reduces the cost of the raw material and the product that has been bought from the wholesaler or the manufacturer, and also this is a mandatory number that you have to get if you want to run a business in India. Eligibility: you should be a owner of a registered business in India. Required information: I've listed certain information here, which is not the whole amount of information that is required from an applicant, but it does display a little bit of high level view of what is required. But once you start filling up the application, you would understand the amount of data that is required. Required documents: it depends upon the kind of business that you are running, but in most scenarios it's going to be the documents that are related to your business. And once you start filling the application, and with regards to the type of the business that you have, the documents that you have to provide would be listed, and you have to provide those or attach those documents with the application. Steps to follow: in this slide, what I have done is I have listed down the general steps that are followed, but what I'm going to do is I have a couple of slides in which in this I'm going to show you the list out the videos, and in the third slide what I'm going to show is what are the various ways of applying. So I'm just going to explain everything and come back to the to this slide. So here what I'm going to show is I'm going to explain about the general way of the general steps that are followed in applying. In the sense, you could apply it through online or through mobile app, and I'm not very completely sure, but I think you could also contact GST Seva Kendra too for making the application. So if you follow any of these process, in the sense especially the first two ones that is listed here, you would be going through these steps that I have listed down here. So I'm just going to explain these general steps, and I'm going to take you to the applying through online and applying through a mobile. So as a first step, you would be contacted by the state tax department or the central tax department by providing you a provisional ID or a password, if you are a registered business with the state. So with the provisional ID and the password, you could You could go to the gst.gov in portal and start accessing the website and logging in. But if in case you do not have a provisional ID or a password that is provided by the state tax department or the central tax department, one option is you could contact them to get it. But if you if you think that you do not want to contact them, or if you want to just go straight away with the process, then what you could do is you could actually register as a new user with the portal which I've listed down here, as well as it's the same with the mobile app as well. So if you have a provisional ID or a password, you could just log in to the portal or the mobile app and start with the application process. But if you do not have a a provisional ID or the password that is provided, you can register as a new user. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you have to do in terms of if you have a provisional ID and password, or if you do not have a provisional ID and password. So if you have a provisional ID and a password, um, you access this portal that is listed here, and once you get to this home page, it would not be this page, it would be the home page. You click on login and you would be provided a login here. And there are instructions provided. If you log in for the first time, click here, and all these informations are provided. Just follow the instructions, and that should help you out in logging in. But if you do not have a provisional ID and password, then you go to new services, registration, and click on new registration that is displayed here. So once you do that, you would be taken to um, this page where it says new registration, and you enter the information appropriately here and click on proceed. So once you do this, your one-time password would be sent to your mobile phone number that you have provided, as well as your email address. In the next screen, you would be requested for those OTPs from the email address and the mobile number, and you enter the OTPs, and you proceed with filling the application form. So once you do this, you would be actually provided a acknowledgement or application reference number, which you could use for progressing with the application, or the next progressing with the next part of the application. It's the same case with the screen too, the login screen. As I said, if you're logging for the first time, you click in here, and you enter the appropriate information, and you would be logged in, and your OTP and your mobile number would be verified. Sorry, your mobile number and your email ID would be verified, and an application reference number would be provided, and you go with the second step of the filling up the application form. So as I said, OTP verification. After the OTP verification, application number reference number would be provided, and after that, you would have to fill in the part B of the application, where you have to fill in all the information that is required in the part B, and upload all the necessary documents that is requested in the application, and you submit the application form. So once you submit the application form, a GST officer would verify your application and check whether all the documents that you have provided is valid. If the GST officer is happy with the documents that you have submitted, then what he would do is he would provide you a certificate of registration in 3 working days. If 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 the GST officer is not, if he's not satisfied with the documents that you have provided, then he would request for other documents within 7 working days, and if you are able to provide the appropriate documents, then you would be provided a certificate of registration, which is GSTIN, or your application would be rejected. So this process, or these steps that I have explained right now, is about the general process or the general steps that are followed if you are making your application through portal or through a mobile app. So in the next slide here, what I have done is there are a couple of videos that I have linked here. This actually explains how somebody could not how somebody could, but it explains each and every step in detail on how you fill up form part A, part B, and this is for the last link is for tracking your application form. So this you could watch these videos, and there is a detailed explanation of how it is done. So you could actually get a good idea of how to make the application. So with regards to that, so I did explain about the steps that has to be followed and the videos, and now I'm gonna show you the ways that you could apply. The first way is applying GSTIN online. I think I showed you the portal where you can apply or start applying online, as I said, gst.gov.in. And also you could access this following URL that is listed here, which gives you instructions. It's a manual where instructions are listed out, which you can just follow just straight from the top to the bottom to apply for a GSTIN online. If you're applying through mobile phone, you search for GST enrollment app and download it to your smartphones, and again you could follow this user manual that is listed down here in this link, which you could follow to make the application through your mobile app. The last one is the GST Seva Kendra. These are GST service centers that you could actually contact them for maybe for filling up the application form, but definitely they would help you out with the filling up of the application form. To find out the GST Seva Kendra, I've listed down the URL here, which lists out all the service centers they have around India. You could contact them and speak with them. I'm going to take you to this link and show you how the information is displayed. So you could see here the information is kind of displayed with name, their contact numbers, and postal address and email IDs and all this information. So you could actually contact them and get help from them for making the application. That could be easier too. The fees is free of charge. Validity is for your lifetime. But if you're uh, owner of a foreign company and have a business in India, please consult with tax authorities. They should be able to provide you with more information on it, because sometimes the validity might differ with regards to the kind of business that you are having in India, especially if you are from a foreign country. Processing, it depends. What you could do is you could use the ARN, which is the application reference number, which would be provided to you when you're making the application. You could provide that ARN in this URL that is listed here, where you could actually find out the status of the status of your application. Office locations, you could use the contact information that is here, and as well as the email address that is you could use this email address for getting more information. And I also have listed GST Seva Kendra's contact information, which you could use. Other information, I would say, if you're not fully confident in applying it by yourself, and if it takes too much of your time for making this application, I would say you please contact a chartered accountant. They should be able to help you out with making the application. I hope I have provided enough information. Thanks for listening.